you. Go yourself. You demonic f***ing scum. Fuck you, motherfucker. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body.
Vile piece of human debris, Candace Owens has released a trailer for her new series attacking Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens is an evil, twisted human being.
I think Charlie was not allowed to be anything but a Christian Zionist, and he was changing in the last few weeks. Everything began ratcheting up after Tucker Carlson hit the stage.
What happens when the loudest truth tellers in the room suddenly lose control? That's the question everyone's asking right now. Because the moment Candace Owens dropped her explosive docuseries about Charlie Kirk and his widow, two major voices completely crashed out. And we're talking full meltdown mode. It started fast. Ben Shapiro went on a fiery rant, calling Candace twisted, evil, and accusing her of profiting off tragedy. Then Dan Bongino took it even further, unleashing an emotional tirade where he labeled her demonic and said she deserved to feel flames of hell. That's not normal political disagreement. That's personal. And the intensity of that reaction, it only made people lean in closer. Because when someone reacts that strongly to questions, you have to wonder what hit a nerve. But this wasn't just about feelings. Candace's series focused on alleged inconsistencies surrounding Charlie's death and what she describes as unanswered questions. She framed it as defending her friend's legacy. Critics say she's pushing conspiracy. Supporters say she's demanding transparency. And that tension, it split the audience instantly. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Before his passing, Charlie had publicly hinted that powerful people should answer for their connections to Jeffrey Epstein. He had spoken about intelligence agencies and blackmail operations. So when Candace started connecting dots and asking why certain topics went silent, viewers noticed something. The same voices who once demanded answers about Epstein were suddenly telling everyone to move on. And that's where Bongino's timeline started trending. For years, he was one of the loudest voices demanding the full release of Epstein-related information. He built his brand on exposing what he called the swamp. But critics online point out that after stepping into a federal role in 2025, his tone shifted dramatically. He later affirmed the official narrative. Supporters say he saw classified material and changed his view. Skeptics say it looked like a complete reversal. Either way, the contrast was impossible to ignore. And Candace's supporters immediately connected it to the current backlash. But the real shock came when Candace revealed alleged private text messages from Charlie. According to her, he wasn't exactly Ben Shapiro's biggest fan. She shared messages where Charlie supposedly described tension, rivalry. I can even use Game of Thrones metaphors to hint at power struggles inside the movement. Now, these messages are unverified beyond her claims, and Shapiro has strongly denied any malicious intent. But the narrative spread fast, because if there really was internal friction, that changes the entire context of today's outrage. And then came the coordination claims. Almost overnight, influencers across platforms began using nearly identical language to describe Candace. Dumb evil. Demonic. Profiting off death. The phrasing was so similar that rumors started circulating about a coordinated messaging campaign tied to Turning Point USA. A leaked email allegedly outlined talking points to discredit her. Now, to be clear, that email has not been independently verified. But the speculation alone fueled the fire. Because if Candace was truly irrelevant or insane, why mobilize such a unified response? And that's when insiders began speaking up. And a former TPUSA communications staffer publicly claimed she was terminated after questioning the official narrative around Charlie's death. She alleges retaliation. The organization has not publicly validated those claims, but the statement added another layer of drama. Suddenly, this wasn't just about one podcast rant. It was about internal fractures. Now, the movement looks divided. On one side, establishment voices defending legacy and unity. On the other, is a former insider demanding answers and calling out what she sees as gatekeeping. Some fans believe this is about protecting a grieving widow. Others believe it's about protecting reputations. And here's the twist no one can ignore. If Candace truly crossed a line, why does the backlash feel so coordinated? Why does it sound rehearsed? And why did the reaction explode the moment she hinted at deeper institutional connections? Maybe it's just a messy public feud. Maybe it's bruised egos colliding. Or maybe, as some supporters argue, she got too close to something bigger. One thing is certain. The louder the attacks become, the more people start asking their own questions. And when powerful voices start panicking instead of debating, audiences notice. So, what do you think this really is? A reckless smear? Or the beginning of something being exposed? Okay, because if this is how they react to a YouTube series, imagine what happens if more receipts drop. And here's the twist no one can ignore. If Candace truly crossed a line, why does the backlash feel so coordinated? Why does it sound rehearsed? And why did the reaction explode the moment she hinted at deeper institutional connections? Maybe it's just a messy public feud. Maybe it's bruised egos colliding. Or maybe, as some supporters argue, she got too close to something bigger. One thing is certain, the louder the attacks become, the more people start asking their own questions. And when powerful voices start panicking instead of debating, audiences notice. So what do you think this really is? A reckless smear? Or the beginning of something being exposed? Because if this is how they react to a YouTube series, imagine what happens if more receipts drop.